Hey everybody, and a warm welcome. It's NVP here. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a great weekend. Just wanted to catch up what's been going on in the world. As people possibly know, I'm currently not consulting at the moment in my finance commercial business. I'm actually focused fully on currency trading at the moment. So unless that changes, that's what I'll continue to do, full-time trading now. Just bringing your attention to my FXCorrelator.com site there. I think most people know where I am now. I haven't been that active last couple of weeks. I've been busy on actually looking at some DAX trading systems, which has been very interesting, working with some very good traders. But my Forex is pretty much where I am. I've been doing that since the very early 2000s, and focusing a lot around strength meter techniques and systems. This site here, I will be developing a little bit more this year. I haven't done that much with it at the moment, to be honest with you. Been really about timing, but it's got some stuff here. My CV here, and further down here you'll actually have a chance to subscribe for free and catch up with my blogs and my updates. Go in, there's a page of all my free links and systems to the stuff I've been doing for years on Trade to Win, Forex Factory, my own other forums I've had. I'm hitting about 2 million views now on Trade to Win, which is not too bad. Very pleased about that. So again, continuing to help people there. Got a contact there, blog. I try and blog at least once or twice a week when I can, and an update there on training. Again, my training will be coming this sometime this year, but I'm still looking at quite a lot of options there. I want the training to be the best for people that do take it on. I don't want to be some run-of-the-mill training platform. I really want to help people. I want to make a difference. I mean, I could sell so much stuff that sounds good, but is it really? It's all about obviously focusing, just focusing people's attention on the key things, making things happen. I could write a 5,000 page book, but that's not really going to help you guys. So very much around a very focused, polished training course will come out eventually. But as people again know me, I much more enjoy trading than actually writing ebooks and God knows what. It's not my forte. My forte is trading. I love it. So if I get distracted, I apologize. That may be still a few weeks off, or even months off, depending on how the markets go, because I enjoy trading more than doing this stuff. But I still enjoy training, and I still enjoy helping people, so watch this space. So let's have a quick look at this week and see what's happened. But that's my website anyway. If you choose to go to it, please subscribe, and I can keep you up to speed on things like this. Okay, what I wanted to talk about was this week actually, what's been going on in the world of Forex. The two charts, the top chart you see there is the cable, pound US dollar for this week on the 1 hour. Underneath I've put on a fixed strength meter. That's not available for free, sorry guys. That will be something that will come as part of the course. And what it does is it takes the 8 main currencies, and you can see them here in their different colors, and starting from the weekend, starting from 10-11 o'clock GMT on 2200 hours GMT on Sunday night, it takes us through the week. The white dotted lines signify each day through this week, the 5 trading days this week, 5 main days. And I've added a couple of things in here. Just wanted to talk about what happened this week in the market, and perhaps focus a little bit on cable, where people were trading cable, what traders should have been doing if perhaps they were using more strength meter based systems, which I do, which I've been using for about 18 years now. So let's take a look through the week, okay, see what happened. So we came in initially this area, this is Asian Sunday night going into Monday. And again, just to tell everybody, these red vertical lines signify 8 AM GMT every day this week. Roughly the time. So trading through the night, not many people obviously trade the Asian session, certainly not European based. You're basically trading in the middle of the night. You can do if you want, but not for me. I tend to focus more on the European session that opens around 7-8 AM. And then obviously rolls into the US session, which is major session. Now, obviously, if you talk to any trader, they'll tell you that in terms of time zone trading, the early US session which comes in around afternoon time in Europe, that is a massive session because pretty much 5-6 of the major currencies are all trading at the same time. All their markets are open, with the exception really of the yen, even though the yen will still be active, the yen business hours of that, and obviously some of the Far Eastern countries, but everything else is rocking. North America's rocking, Europe's rocking. Okay, you only get about a 2 or 3 hour window, but that should be enough, especially when the Dow opens. Okay, but we're going to focus a little bit more on what happened at the start of the European sessions, around when FTSE was just about to open, the DAX had opened, and so on. So let's take a look here and see where I would have been trading this week. So Monday came in fairly lightish session here, nothing too much moving around, no real divergence here. Came into the European session, and the first thing I really saw here is Swissy had been selling off. And then the red GBP came off for a big sell, and I would have pretty much sold, or was selling, through most of the European session and even into quite a lot of the early US session here. This is obviously the end of the day. So really with a relatively strong greenback coming all through Asian, it was strong Asian, came all the way through Europe and the US session, very strong. I mean, really you were selling Europeans. You can see here where the sell-offs were. So up here, you can see from a fairly moderate start, pretty low volatility, you see a couple of 3 or 4 good bars on the 1 hour, then a little continuation coming into more US session. So there were probably 2 or 3, more like about 4 or 5 hours there where it really was worth getting stuck in, and there could have been some great scalps and great swing trades there as well. So you can see where I was coming from there and where traders should have been, especially if you're using strength meters to keep an eye on the market. Okay, very strong US dollar, pretty weak Europeans here. When I am trading, I will tend to focus on probably the first 2 or 3 days of a week. The reason being, I'm really looking for big movements on some of the majors. Yeah, I'm looking for that big drift of trade, big movements, big divergence into by about Wednesday here. And then what tends to happen on most weeks is you'll start to see some big divergence down in these areas from the majors, and then it will tend to swing back towards the mean. Remember, this is a zero line, this is where all the currencies started off. Now it's interesting this week, as you can see, that wasn't what happened. In fact, this was a tough week for traders, and if you have been scalping this week or swing trading or whatever, you might have found it quite difficult this week, mainly because the market didn't do what it usually does. What it usually does is diverges strongly into a Wednesday, which is where you pick up a lot of trades through here, and then it tends to come off as people reverse and come out of those trades and start closing out positions, especially by Friday. Didn't happen like that. Let's look at Tuesday now. So here's the Asian session. Now the Asian session, sterling still selling off strongly, came down here, just added a line there. We were down by about 90 pips on sterling by then. So obviously you've sold sterling off 90 pips, and if you're trying to pick up anything up to 50 or 60 pips by here on US dollar, you've got about, you've probably got 120, 130 pips there if you've been picking up cable from here as a sell. Okay. But look at what I mean about when sessions change. Look at the changeover, 8 AM GMT. Look at this. Look at the reversal in all of the markets. The yen, which had got quite strong, and the greenback completely reversed. Very early London, sterling came back up, and therefore really during the London and the US session, it was a totally different game. See, look at the reversal here. Look how cable came back up, and really for the rest of the day you were buying cable. At what point would I have decided that sterling was not a sell anymore? Well, that depends. I would have dropped inside my time frames and started to look much closer. But obviously down here, once some of these support or resistance levels start to fade, if you can see here, this is obviously sterling. These are the points where it's been coming down and having support and resistance levels. Once these are being breached, you really are on a massive climb here. So again, not giving too much away, but I would have been seriously considering that sterling, especially off a very strong European Open, you've got to be thinking about buying sterling very quickly here, inside the first hour pretty much here. If you were smart, you might have come off here, using more standard price action techniques. You could have looked for breaches here coming down, but again, from a strength meter perspective, this is where I would have been. So I would have been confident buying certainly by this period here. There's 3 good hourly bars there, and more later on in the day, another solid bar there. So again, you can see where I'm coming from here. But again, normally what I would expect to see, if sterling had come off here and it was showing a lot of weakness into Tuesday, I would have really expected it to extend here. So this made, for a lot of traders that look for those kind of positions through the first 3 days, that was quite a turnover, big turnover. So by the close of business Tuesday, going into Asian session Wednesday, I mean, look, we are virtually back to where we started. So it's almost like you're starting the week again. And this time it's very interesting because now you can see what I mean. If we look at the next 3 trading days, this is normally how the first 3 days of the week work. So now we can start to take positions. What I try and do generally, is I'll try and move whatever shows strength or weakness in the first day, coming off of 0 levels. I'll try and trade for extensions. So without going too much into this, you can see here that sterling came back, and sterling had a very good Wednesday, and look what happened. You could have traded a very strong Thursday with sterling. Sterling did have a trouble into London. I mean, London, it came off a bit, unfortunately, but obviously through the Asian, especially the Asian session, sterling was still strong. And down here we have some really solid trade currencies here. This is the yellow yen and the orange Aussie D, and look how strong they were pretty much into Friday. Week they were into Friday. They weren't really affected by European opening times, they just came on down, and there's a significant move there, guys. I mean, if we say that the yen and the Aussie D have made strong signals here in the Asian session, coming off some 30 pips or so Asian, they come into the London session. Here we are about minus 30 here at this point, down to here, and then all the way through to minus 140. That's 110 pips on these guys. So all you've got to do, if you're following a nice steady stream here of selling, is you've got to look up here and say what's buying strongly, and try and find those currencies. Okay, so some great trades this week, selling Aussie, selling yen into, I mean, the Europeans were very strong, weren't they? That's the grey Swissy, the blue euro. So they were the trades second half of the week. But as I said, very strange second half of the week, because really you started from scratch again on Tuesday evening. Okay, if you were trading the greenback this week, US dollar, you can see here it didn't really swing much through the week. I mean, obviously what we're really looking for is the dollar to be very strong, trending, going north here as a bull play, or going south, because a lot of people trade the big cross currencies, the big USD pairs. So it didn't really offer that as much up as it normally does. Scalping wise, it would have on the inside the 1 hours, but not really at this level. I mean, you know, with sterling so strong here, coming back into a nice strong move here, clearly, you know, looking through possibly 1 hour bars, I would have been looking to buy cable. But with dollars so, you know, so kind of flat, I mean, this was a good period here. Dollar finally starts to sell off back into Thursday. So up here you're getting some nice strong green bars here, but there's still not that much. You're not really getting that much. There was obviously a big one here, which was right at the back end. This was very early London actually on Thursday, so that was nice, but it did tend to fade off. Yeah, it did. So that was really the week, guys. Let's stay in touch. I'll put this particular video on my blog with a couple of updates. I'll put it on Trade to Win somewhere else, but you know, if anyone needs to contact me, you know where I am. And yeah, watch this space for some courses, commercial courses coming later this year, when I'll finally start sharing my experience. That's 18 years in the forex market. I've also been trading. I mean, I've been trading actively since the 1980s, since I was working for Shell International Trading Company, not as a trader but as back office, and I learned a lot of my stuff there, so traded a lot since then. And again, if people know or followed my CV, my background is actually in gambling. I was technically a professional gambler in my early teens, working in my dad and granddad's bookmaking business, and I learned a lot. And was lucky enough to get involved with speculation and gambling, trading, whatever, even at an early age from there. So I've been around the block a lot, and hopefully going to be able to share a lot more of my experiences with people later this year. So look forward to catching up with you. Have a great weekend, guys. Talk next week. Cheers. Bye.